the Novak book group meeting. I have really been looking forward to this evening because we have a wonderful guest, Eloisa James, the author of The Last Lady Bee. We will be talking to her shortly, but first make sure that you like and share this video for a chance to win a $50 gift card to the Brendan Novak store. And don't forget to drop a comment letting us know where you're from and if you can remember when you joined my book group. If you're new, just to let you know, we come together the last Thursday of every month. We have a read that we read together each month, and you can get an autographed copy of that book in our Brenda Novak book boxes. You can get a subscription where you get one every month, or you can order them here and there as you like, maybe for your birthday or Christmas. They're on the Brenda Novak store. It's really fun to be able to collect these autographed copies, and it's our way of supporting the authors that we feature and publishing in general, which of course is something that is near and dear to my heart. Also, in case you haven't heard, we now have an autographed copy only subscription. This was something we had a lot of people asking for. And so we decided to try and make that happen. It's at a much less price point, of course, because you're not getting all the other goodies that come in our boxes. I cannot believe that Alexa and I have been doing these boxes for 10 years. We were just talking today that there are things that we have done in the past that we've even forgotten about. But they've all been unique to us because Alexa has done it from the ground up and designed it all and sourced it all, and a tremendous amount of work looking back, but also something that I think she should be really proud of. And I'm super excited that we've been able to do it for so long and that we have so many fun things planned for the rest of the year and moving into next year. So we have already created this book stack for this year. I cannot believe we're halfway through the year almost. And this is our fun reading challenge card. We have these on the store where you can get one yourself and you can mark along, mark each book and maybe date it when you read it and finish it so that you have a completed report card at the end of the year. And you can collect these autographed books and it'll be the same as the stack on the card. Or you can get a free one. We offer a digital download on my website. You just go to the book group tab. You should probably check out that page on my website because it has so many cool, like free books and downloads and other stuff you can get. And it explains everything that we do in the Brenda Novak book group. So it's a great reference that I think some people, we're so used to interacting on Facebook that we forget that this is a repository of information that makes it easy for you to see what we're doing in the group and what's happening. So comment if you've been reading along with us to win one of our challenge cards and a matching bookmark. So put that in the comments. This month, as I said, we're featuring The Last Lady Bee by Eloisa James. We'll be getting to talk to her in just a few minutes after I go through a few announcements. We don't do spoilers, so if you're in various stages of reading the book, you don't have to worry. We're not going to ruin it for you, but we do want to have some fun book talk that will maybe interest you even more in the book, or if you have read it, give you deeper insights. And it'll be, we'll do some fun giveaways, and we have Spill the Tea, of course, which is always my favorite, where you get a little bit up close and personal, more so with our authors than a lot of interviews. Last month, we featured my new release, Meet Me in Italy, and we have been so busy. I've signed 5,000 copies of the book, and we've been so busy signing and mailing those all out to everybody with the free Darling lemon charm that we ordered. Those things are 13 bucks on Amazon. So I don't know if people realize that this free item actually has that much value, but it's actually an expensive, very cool item, and it feels great. It's heavy and nice quality. So anyway, thank you if you have ordered a copy of my book, and I just really appreciate it. It's an extra points if you left me a review. Those do not have to be difficult. It's mostly the stars and the number of reviews that matter, even one or two lines, what you liked about the book. They don't have to be written like, you're turning in an English paper or anything. So I really appreciate that. But because of all the effort that we put into this book launch, we are a little behind on book group things. So we haven't yet done our book buddy pairings, but we are working on that now. So we will be getting that up shortly. If you want a friend in the group, a book buddy in the group, somebody that you want to get to know and feel more comfortable in the group, it's just kind of fun when you know more people. And this is what this program is meant to do. Then make sure that you email store@brendanovak.com because we are in the middle of those pairings, as I said. So I just mentioned that I signed the 5,000 books. I have another 2,000 coming. So we are still in hot production mode over here. I've been keeping Alexa and Jennifer hopping. So It's been a wonderful ride, and I wanted to share some of the reviews that I really love that came through. Um, This one is Brenda Novak captivated me with Meet Me in Italy. Not only did the plot and characters keep my attention, but the magnificent setting of the Amalfi Coast of Italy did too. I appreciated that the characters were well developed and multi generational. I enjoyed this book so much that I may read it again. Sarah Leathers. Wonderful story with Italy as the backdrop. First Brenda Novak novel I had read in a while, and she didn't disappoint. N.A.P. Coker. Fantastic. This book has something for everyone: travel, family, friends, love, and all the ups and downs that go with it. It is truly a must read, Nancy BJ. And I saw many reviews when I was looking through Amazon that came from this group. I saw Roberta Pedon's, I saw Janet's, it is Janet Roble. It's really fun when I see these things, and I do read them all. So I appreciate you guys' efforts to help share my books with other people, and help them gain some attention. I wanted to let you know that we will soon have our darling Meet Me in Italy beach bags back in stock. We ran out of these so quickly, and they've been back ordered for so long that we are thrilled that these are coming in just a couple of weeks. So we are very shortly able to stock up on these. So you can add this on to your package if you still want to get an autographed copy of the book with a matching bookmark. And of course, our fun lemon charm I was telling you about. Like, look how nice that is. And ours is a little better than the one on Amazon that sells for $13 because it has the added Meet Me in Italy charm. So it's been really fun seeing the pictures that you guys have been posting too. So don't forget about the photo contest that we have going. We're going to announce the winner on the last day of summer. So make sure you post your copy of Meet Me in Italy somewhere that you think that I should travel, or that you enjoyed traveling this summer, or even at home if you're traveling through the pages of the book only. So however you want to stage that, we'll be pulling a winner from that, and be giving away a chance to put some money, travel money, toward a place you'd like to go, or you can even put it toward like a local bookstore, something fun. So um, let's move on. My next release is going to be in October, and I'm super excited because it's been a long time since I've been able to write a Christmas book, and this is going to be my last one for a while, but it's called A Hard Luck Christmas, and it's set in a town called Hard Luck that is a dying town, an old mining town in Nevada, and the heroine is working very hard trying to save it, and the hero is one of those troubled bad boys who needs a good woman in his life and actually has a heart of gold. I love wounded heroes, and so this has been this was a fun story to write, and I can't wait for you all to read it. We're also in the middle of developing or having created our brand new Christmas ornament. We do a new ornament for my collection every year, and this one, I'm going to give you a hint what it is. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but it was inspired by the cover of A Hard Luck Christmas. So go check that out on Amazon if you want, or you can just look up the name. They may have it on Barnes and Noble too, and see if you can guess what it is, and put in the comments your guess to be entered to win our last year's cute ornament, which was our Merry Bookmas ornament. So this is a girl holding a stack of books that is so high that you can't even see her head. And I think this one turned out so cute. And of course, this matches the design that Alexa did for our Merry Bookmas bags, which go in our December box. And that is a bag full of gifts that we open like an advent calendar. So December 1st through December 12th, we open a new gift, and it announces or reveals the authors we will be featuring in the following year. So it's a really fun thing. And because of that, our December box sells out really quickly, especially because we tried something a little different last year, and we went ahead and listed December's box during Bookmas. So a lot of people went out and got one. So we don't have a lot left. So what we're going to do is we're going to list it on July 1st for Christmas in July. So you're going to want to mark that date if you want one, so you can rush over and get one. Or the easiest way would just be to subscribe to the Brenda Novak book boxes, and that guarantees that you get one every month, and that includes December. So we will also be listing for Christmas in July our Christmas package, and this year it's going to contain an autographed copy of A Hard Luck Christmas. It'll have a Christmassy treat. We always do that. It'll have a raffle ticket to all the fun. I do 50 baskets that I give away for our big online Christmas party. It'll have that raffle ticket in it, and it will also have the brand new ornament. And we do this because we sell out of December's box every year, and we want more people to be able to enjoy our efforts for the holidays and the fun things that we offer. And it's at a lower price point, which I know a lot more people can afford. So when July 1st hits, you're going to want to grab your Christmas package and or your Christmas box. And if you're getting October's box, you're already getting an autographed copy of A Hard Luck Christmas, and you don't want to get another one in your Christmas package, we're going to have a list of other Christmas books that you can pick. And for December this year, we have Debbie Maycomber. She's going to be signing copies of, let's see what, A Date with Santa, it's called. So the box will have Debbie's autographed book for December. It'll have the raffle ticket like usual. It'll have the new ornament, and it'll also have some other things beyond what the Christmas package offers. So that's going to be really fun. You're not going to want to miss that. So thanks to everyone who is joining us live. Let's see. Let me see where my phone is so I can give away some $10 gift certificates. Lex, do you have my phone? I wanted to give away to people who were joining us. Here we go. Okay. Okay, Barbara Ciaza, you win a $10 gift certificate. Jenny Carpenter, you win a $10 gift certificate. And Monica Karpinski, so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. You win a $10 gift certificate too. So congratulations to our winners for those. Remember again to share and like this video for a chance to win a $50 gift card to the Brenda Novak store. So you might still be a winner for that. Now, let me welcome our guest author, Eloisa James. She has such an incredible bio. Oh my gosh. She graduated from Harvard. She extended her education at Oxford and Yale, and she eventually became a Shakespeare professor at Fordham University. So she's her double life of being this, literary presence in academia, and also, moonlighting as a romance writer, is something that's been a source of fascination to the media and to her fans and readers alike. And I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that and hear from her how she navigated those waters. She's published over 30 historical romances, and many of them have hit bestseller lists. So welcome, Eloisa.
Thank you.
There she is.
Hi, everyone. I just want to apologize for this ray of light coming over there. But
it just shows what a saint you are.
Yeah, I'm in my brother's basement. That's the way it goes.
Her nephew was kind enough to give up his room. Isn't that cute? So he's got his aunt down here doing author things in his bedroom. He's probably very proud of you, I would guess.
You never know with teenagers, do you? But I'm proud of him because look at all those books and manga books and all kinds of stuff. So he's a freshman, just finished his freshman year at Berkeley, and we're all very proud of him.
Oh, you should be proud of him too then. So has he ever read one of your books? That begs the question.
No. No. But he did tell me yesterday that he's an applied math major and he may do a double major in English. And I am so proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very impressive. I will never forget when I had a young girl bring one of my books to school, it was middle school, and read a sex scene out of text to my son. He had never read my books either. So that was a little traumatic for him. Luckily, I mean, it wasn't that hot, but it was still something I'm sure that stands out in his mind as a young boy of 13.
Well, you know what? They always ask me that, Brenda. And the thing I say is that, if our sons read our books, they will find out that women should be respected and should have a really good time. But mostly they should be respected. And I'm fine with that. If my son has gone off and has a baby and lives in Vienna, and I don't think he's ever read any of mine, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I've read it 2 times. So he just got his first contract with an agent.
So. Wow. So what is he writing?
He wrote a YA about a young goblin. It's called When the Dragon Sang, and hopefully it will sell.
Oh, I hope so. That would be so exciting. I've asked all of my children, who wants to write? None of them. I have 5 of you. I don't get one writer here. And you've got your writer, so that's great. Is your daughter? You have a daughter too, right?
I have 2. So if any of you want to Google right now or later, Eloisa James People Magazine, you'll see an article come up about my daughter Anna, who wrote 2 or 3 of the sentences that are in The Last Lady B, and I quote them in that article.
So, oh wow!
I'll leave that a surprise which ones they were, but
Okay. I love it. Well, you're going to have me Googling too. So yesterday I put up a post that told everybody how I met you. You may not even remember this, but I distinctly remember meeting you on the escalator of RWA, and I was rushing down to put out these candy bars I had created with my first book hadn't come out yet, but I had changed the wrapper to the wrapper of my book. And my
Yeah.
husband and I had done this all ourselves, and I was rushing them down to the goodie room, because people could pick up these goodies. And we ran into each other, and we were talking about how difficult it was to try and write while having a life otherwise. And you were either pregnant or you had just had your first child. I can't remember which, but it was before either of our books came out. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, we
And
used
then
to do, remember how much stuff we used to do? Because what I did was I got water bottles and taped Eloisa James around them. I can still memory.
we
I
have
got a
worked hard.
we were trying. We
We've
were
done
out
what
there
we can.
trying. You have to
That's
work at it.
And now here we are 30 years later, and you have 30 books out. That's amazing that we've been able to stay in the business this long. Half the battle is longevity, I think.
No, and let's face it, Brenda, we are the few who have survived from that time.
Yeah,
You
I've
know,
been shocked by how many people yeah, that have either moved on or are doing something else. It's been a really rough few years in the industry, so it's really shaken things up since 2010, 11, 12 when indie pubbing came on the scene, and it just slowly has kind of really changed the whole landscape, right?
true.
So
That's
it's
absolutely
been
right.
different. But you're especially impressive because you've managed to accomplish this all while keeping your day job. And I know everybody's got to be dying to hear the story of how you started writing and why you took on your pen name.
Well, so there I am. I'm a junior professor, and I have to pay off my student loans because my husband is from Italy, like your book. And in Italy, you don't pay for college really. So he just couldn't believe it when he married me. I had $30,000 in student loans, but I had Oxford, Harvard, Oxford, Yale. So actually, it wasn't that much to an
Yeah.
American, but to him,
Right.
and also it was unclear. We're both junior professors. How are we ever going to pay that off? So we had one baby, and he said, "Well, I don't see how we're ever going to have another one." And I was like, because I grew up in a large family. I would have liked to have 5 kids the way you did, but I grew up in a house of 6 kids. So I was like, I have to pay off these loans. I just have to. So tried to write a mystery first, and that failed because I could not. I just got tangled up in thinking that the murderer must have been abused by, somebody. Otherwise, why would he be so angry? And then I always loved romance. So I just went back to historical romance. And of course, at that point, I'd done my PhD. So, I knew a lot of history. And I wrote Potent Pleasures, which was my first book, first published book. And
And that
it
had a
went
beautiful
off
cover. I still remembered it was, I believe, like pink and purple with a woman's dress or
purple.
something. Purple. It's
Yes,
very
she was
pretty.
running across the cover. It was a gorgeous, it was a
It was very
$30,000
tasteful.
photo shoot. Yes,
Yeah.
they
It
told me
was very
that.
tasteful, and it was a divergence from what we were typically seeing. So it kind of elevated it. It gave it more credibility. I thought that was a really wise marketing decision. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and they brought it out in hardcover. So I was really lucky that way. Um,
I
but I
didn't
was just
remember
gonna
the
say
hardcover thing. That's amazing. Way to go.
it went out on auction, as things sometimes do, which is when several publishers auction against you. And it went for a few $1,000s over my student loan, so like
Very
$32,000.
nice.
Yes, but I had to write 3 books for that. So then I started. I was a junior professor. I'm writing. I have a baby. I have another baby on the way. I have all these things happening. If you read that People magazine article, you'll see that my daughter was born at 24 weeks. So that
Ooh,
really what made it difficult for my little family. But
wow.
I love teaching Shakespeare. I really do. But I also love writing. And I've been so blessed for all these years to be able to do both, to do something where I'm teaching children, they're adults, sort of. I'm teaching kids all the time Shakespeare. And at the same time, I get to go home and write something that's just pure pleasure and get letters from wonderful readers, who aren't saying, I want a better grade. So, you know, yeah, I've
So
been
you're
really,
still currently teaching. You're still
no,
juggling.
I
Oh, okay.
quit on January 1st of this year. I decided to
Oh
have
my
one
goodness.
job, and it's just going to be writing. So I am writing hundreds of things right now. It's crazy, but it's
Oh
so
man.
liberating to just have one job. Yeah, AI
Yeah, when
has
you can
made,
focus.
yeah, AI is really changing the university landscape, as everyone knows. And I decided I didn't want to try to deal with whether this student or that student had written the paper with the help of ChatGPT. That's not what I'm about. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's changing the landscape of so many things. I mean,
Mhm.
it may even come after our jobs, right? I mean, I've been hearing that people been use ChatGPT to have it write books that they then put up on Amazon that they sell,
Yep.
which is an
Yeah.
interesting and
You know,
dangerous.
Brenda, true. It's horrible, and my books were pirated and made into, Anthropic and ChatGPT. They appear on those lists of pirated books that trained
Yeah,
those AI. But my feeling is that it's impossible to come up with a Brenda or an Eloisa book because our books are quirky and weird. And, I'm writing along and I think of something that happened when I was 9 years old and I put it in there. Or I remember going down a river on a canoe with my dad and I described that. Or I remember the first time I read Charlotte's Web and all these things weave together. Thousands of
yeah,
things weave together and AI can't do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's might be our saving grace.
Yes. It can't
So I
create,
don't
it
think
can
I
only imitate.
realized that the reason why you went to Italy so much is because your husband is Italian. I think so. What part is he connected to? And does he have family back there?
Florence. We have a house
Oh,
in Florence, and my daughter lives there now. Um, my son's wife is in the State Department. She's a junior ambassador, so they're in Vienna for another year. But yeah, Italy is kind of, we have New York because he is still teaching. He's the chair of Italian at Rutgers University. And so, we're in New York and we're in Italy. It's great.
oh, that's
We
wonderful.
love
My son-in-law is learning Italian. I'm learning French. So I am up to 107 day streak on Duolingo. I'm so proud. It keeps saying
it.
share with all your friends. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm
Yes.
not going to bother them with this, but I am going to keep going.
That's great. Congratulations. I have to tell you, I'm going for my Italian citizenship after all these years.
Oh,
And you
wow.
have to pass an Italian test. And, I'm very fluent in things like food and babies, but the Italian test, you have to reach like a B level or something. So I did Rosetta Stone. And I did it every day for a while, for, quite a while, like you, months. And I killed that exam. So those things are
Really?
really, they really work.
Oh, see, and I actually didn't. I'm surprised you said that. I thought you were going to go the other direction,
No,
because
no,
I do feel like I'm learning, but I keep thinking it can't be this easy. I'm not. It's not easy, but I'm just saying. I know once I get over there, I'll be lost because of how rapidly they speak, and there's going to be a steep learning curve. But I plan to live there for a year or at least a summer. I may have to do it for a year because rental of a temporary thing is going to be astronomical. I think I can get it for the whole year if I do a whole year lease for cheaper than a summer Airbnb. But anyway, I
you
think
gotta
I will
figure out
learn
your
better
visa.
if I have the foundation and then I
Right.
move there and can learn the rest from the people. I'm hoping. Did you learn a lot from those around you?
Oh, definitely. But I would say in terms of you going there, like you got to think about your visa, right?
Oh,
America
yeah.
has imposed visa restrictions on the world, and in retribution, the world has imposed visa restrictions on us. So just
Oh,
something to think about, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it sometime.
yeah. I
I
definitely
love
think I need to talk to you. I
that.
don't think they would mind me coming, but apparently there may be a problem there.
I think you can get it for sure, but you're just going to have to plan ahead.
Okay. Well, that is very smart of you to tell me. Thank you. So what is your day to day like? Everybody's kind of interested in kind of a behind the scenes look. And now that you don't have to, whoa, what was that? Something popped, scared me. Now that you don't have to, get up and go teach classes and your day is your own, do you have a very structured day or do you just kind of roll out of bed when you want to and then get to it?
I do not have a structured day. It's glorious. I've read so much since January 1st. I'm just reading all kinds of things. And I'm also writing all kinds of things. So, when I was teaching, if I had a book due, and there was always a book due, if I had some time, it was like, okay, do this book. Okay, now you're with your children. I mean, one of my things about children is like, okay, so just concentrate and be with that child. Now they're gone, and now I don't have to worry about teaching. I can write several things. So if something isn't working, I just move over and write something else. And it's labeled me. It wouldn't, I mean, I cannot believe it, but I'm like caught up on reader mail. Anyone can email me if you want to through my website, eloisajames.com, or just email me at eloisajames@gmail.com. I know there's a lot of you out there. So yeah, I may have a little lag, as of this moment, I'm caught up. So
Yeah. Oh, that's a good feeling. I love
good.
having everything And as I get older, I get pickier and pickier about that. But I think it's because we now have the liberty to do that. It was so hard raising those 5 kids, and that's when I had to write 3 books a year, not just one or two like now. So, so you may. Are you thinking about maybe writing a different genre? You said writing different things. You mean all within the same genre, or are you talking about branching out?
No, I'm doing all kinds of different stuff. So, do you want me to
Oh,
give you the list? Like,
yeah.
okay. Well, my editor just accepted the next Gothic. So this is not just a historical, it's a Gothic adjacent historical. Or Jane Ann Krantz told me, she said, you've created the genre of Gothic romp. So let's just think it's a Gothic romp, a bit of a ghost, but nothing really scary, no blood running down the walls. Um, so the second one of those was just accepted. And then I am working with Connie Brockway, who's his historical romance writer as well, and just finished the historical mystery. And we have the most wonderful thing. We are doing a um, 4 novellas that we're putting on Kickstarter as a benefit for this wonderful animal rescue called The Bond Between. If you're from Minnesota, you will know of it. They just took in 113 beagle puppies, for example. They are the biggest after the
Eagles are
SPCA.
so cute.
Yeah, and they do they have a whole hospice program for aged dogs, but they also take people's dogs if they are deported by ICE or if they're incarcerated. It's a no kill shelter. So we have written these, we're in the process of writing 4 novellas in which the lead dog is really instrumental in the romance. So it's totally fun. My current story I'm writing about someone, a dog named Fifi, who everyone thought was going to be a poodle, but you know what? She's just a shaggy dog. And I think it's just so beautiful. And we're doing it on Kickstarter. So we have this gorgeous cover and, you know, foil and silk
That's
ribbon and all kinds of things just to make it wonderful.
how did you
So,
meet Connie?
yeah. Oh, I met
How
Connie at
did
the
you meet
Artie Way,
Connie?
same as you. Well, years ago.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, before
Yeah,
my
I
first book
always
came
tell
out.
that these guys that we meet, that's where we network and got like all of our friends. It's almost like going to school together and you're graduating class, like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's incredible. And yes, I made such wonderful friends there. So, I think those of us who
Fabulous.
are still around still stick together, right? And so she and I
Yeah.
just my our beloved dog Lucy was a little dachshund who came from the Bond Between. So she and I were talking. Her daughter started that organization, and we decided we'd like to do something and to benefit it. And I know how much Americans just love their dogs. So
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
I
Yeah. My
think
aunt started a dog shelter in Iowa and we did some
great.
fundraising for that. That was she's done so much good work and saved so many animals. So this is going to take on a whole other level of importance here because I'm asking an English professor. But what would you say if you had to pick one thing is the most important element in the making of a good novel?
Oh, well, you know what? It's a genuine it, it it's just a genuine connection between the two people. And that's so hard to do. People come up to me and they say, my aunt did this. I want to do that. I think I have the great idea for the plot. And I say, well, do you read romance? And they're like, well, I read Jane Austen. I'm like, no, no, it has to be, you have to genuinely love the genre and you have to have a genuine love of your characters so that they can love each other. And I don't think that has
Yeah.
anything to do with being an English professor. In fact, most of the professors I know could not write a romance. So,
Wow. Well, and that is a very good answer and an interesting one because it's the first time that we've had that one. And I've had a lot of different opinions come through here after 10 years of interviewing authors. So
yeah,
that's wonderful. And one last thing, before we move on, who is your biggest advocate and how did you meet them?
my biggest advocate. Well, I mean, in the publishing world, it would be my
It can
agent.
be however you want.
I've had the same agent for my entire career. When I sent
Wow.
out my first book, Potent Pleasures, I at that point I had a boyfriend who was a banker, and he had a secretary as you did in those days, and he was like, "Don't worry about it. Just give me the book." This was my first book, and he said, "Give me the book, and I'll ask her to Xerox it, and she can just send it out." And this was so all she sent out the whole book, right? The
Yeah.
whole thing.
Back in the day, we had to.
Yep, all the publishers she could find on Publishers Marketplace. So, I mean, we're talking lots of publishers, lots of agents. But She started from the back, and my agent's name is Kim Witherspoon. So I got to the W's before Kim accepted it. So I'm happy
Oh
about that.
my
She's
gosh.
still
Oh
my
my gosh.
agent and still my biggest, fights for me. Yeah, I'm very lucky to have her.
Oh, that's wonderful. I really miss my longtime agent. He retired, and it's tough to switch after a lot of years. It's really tough to find that same connection. Maybe not for everybody, but it's been not quite the same since he retired. I do have an agent who's considered to be a good agent right now, but it's not the same as it was with Dan, that's for sure. So I miss him. But anyway, thank you for signing all those copies that we purchased for May's box. That was so good of you. Now, you didn't have them delivered on a pallet like what comes to my house, right? They went to your publisher, or how did you do that in New York City?
No, they came to a pallet, and the super of my building was like, I said, it's going to be 850 books, but I didn't realize how many that was until it's a New York apartment. They filled up the center of the room, and my sister was there, and she was like, "How are you going to sign all these?" And I said, "Well, I'm just going to mainline kitchen shows," and I did. I just
Yeah.
opened a pallet, and I signed them all with a little heart, a little colored heart, and my signature, and I just did like 3 boxes a night. Um, I
Oh,
had
here it
fun.
is. I'm sorry, I was looking for your book because I wanted to show them that she did do. Look at that, how artsy
I
and
did a
pretty
little
that
heart.
is. Yeah,
I wanted
yeah,
to do
you
something
definitely
a
showed
little
me a
special. So some of you
very
got a
pretty.
purple heart and some got a red heart, but mostly a red heart because the purple ink ran out after a while. So
I
850 is
love
a lot.
colored ink. Love it. I'm going to pause for 1 second just to give away our last May box. We always save one for the meeting, and we give it away to somebody who answered our call on our post asking for questions for our guest author. And so I want to extend congratulations to Sue Bernacki. She won our last May Brenda Novak book box. And I don't think that everybody knows because we didn't post about it, but one box of 40 went missing of the books that she signed and shipped. And Alexa is in meltdown mode when she writes me because she's like, the boxes are going out and we're missing this box that we thought was coming, and it still hasn't shown up. But Eloisa went into save Brenda Novak mode and she sent another box to us and signed them and sent them very quickly. We were able to get our June boxes off. So thank you for jumping in and helping us that with that.
I should add that if your book does not have a little red heart on it, it's because it was signed at Simon and Schuster as part of the lost freight.
Oh,
The
that's when you went to your publisher.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got them switched. That's what happened. And then so you went down there to sign another 40, and then so yeah. So
Mm.
thank you for doing it in New York. I don't know many people who would be willing to do that in New York. Although we have a surprise coming up for July of a big name male author that we're going to be including as a surprise in our July box, and he has agreed to sign. So wait till he sees this many hardcovers show up at his house.
You don't think about it. You really don't think about it till they show up.
Nope, nope. He was all about it, but when he sees it, he may be like, I think she pulled one over on me. Anyway, he's being a good sport. So now we're to my most favorite part of the evening, which is spill the tea. So we're going to do a little bit of dishing here. And our first question, Eloisa, is what's one decision you've made in your writing career that you wish you'd made differently?
Okay, I have a really simple, quick question to that, which is that Walmart at one point decided that they wanted to put little end caps with books in them, and it was going to be serialized books. So one, two, you would be like, June, July, August with your 3 little books, and then a very big name author. I signed the contract. I wrote the silly books, and then a big name author went before me, and they didn't sell, so they canceled the contract. I wish I hadn't done that because that was a lot of work, actually. You know what? It taught me about how
Oh,
to write
yeah.
serials, which means you've got to, if they buy the first one, there's got to be a cliffhanger so they buy the second one. Turns out people don't really like cliffhangers. I could have told them that if they'd asked me, but they did not.
It kind of angers them. But you were cutting out there a little bit, just to clarify for people who may not have understood what happened. So you signed a contract to do a serialization with other authors, and
No.
Walmart was going to put it on an end cap. Oh,
Yeah, they were going to put them on the end cap, and they had selected, I think, 4 authors for the whole year. So I was so pleased. It was a really big author for the first 3 months, and I was going to be the second 3 months. And I was like, my career is made. I'm going to be, I'm going to be Laverne Spencer. I'm going to be, yeah. But they canceled because women don't really like to pick, if you're in Walmart, you're picking up a book, throwing it in your cart to read something fun at home. You don't want to read it and go, oh, I have to go back next month and get the next one.
Oh,
So
I see. So it was kind of a nice idea, but not so good when it came to the reality of it.
reality
Yeah.
didn't work.
Well, I hope you didn't go and spend all the money and then have to give it back. I'll never forget one author that I met. I won't name names, but she got very excited about her big contract, and she went out and bought. She spent it immediately on something rather frivolous, and thought, because she thought, as we all do when something like that happens for us, like, okay, we're there, like we've made
Yeah.
it, and then yeah, they didn't sell well enough, and that was the end of the money. And so I remember thinking, oh, you poor thing, because she spent the money that she needed on something that, because she thought the money would continue to go. But anyway, publishing's a tough business. Let us just say that. Okay. I guess if I were to say one decision that I would make differently, I sold a series of books to a publisher because I thought I really wanted to keep everything in print and do it the traditional way. But Amazon was fighting hard for this. And because they couldn't offer quite as much of an advance, because they were just making them pull back a little bit on their advances and earn it through a much bigger cut of the pie. And I remember the editor calling me and saying, you don't understand, like you're missing out. You really need to go with us. And I didn't do it. And I look back at that decision, and another friend who did sign with them, she makes like $1 million a book, And I'm looking back at that and going, ouch, like that was really a dumb decision. That editor was right. I should have gone with them.
But Brenda, I have a friend whose career was ruined by going with Amazon.
Oh,
He
okay. Well, do
pivoted from
tell.
traditional media to Amazon, and they never sell through. They didn't sell through, and she never got another traditional contract, and it didn't last. It lasted maybe 5 years with Amazon, and just wasn't. So there you go.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
okay. That makes me feel better. Thank you.
Mm.
Well, not better, because I'm sad that
Yeah.
happened to her, but I mean, better about
Mhm.
my own decision, I
Yeah.
should say. Okay. What is the first historical fiction book you ever read, and how old were you?
Um, well, I would say historical fiction. It was called I Capture the Castle, and it's by Dodie Smith, who wrote 101 Dalmatians. And I didn't
Oh,
really figure, I mean, I could tell it was set in the past. It's like 40s or 50s. That felt like a million years ago to me. And it's the most beautiful book. So, if you
oh,
haven't read I Captured the Castle, it's got a beautiful love story in it. It's beautifully written. And I
oh.
think it's much better than 101 Dalmatians, actually.
Oh,
Good.
and now I'm definitely interested to read that, because I that sounds really appealing to me. When I list, everybody says, "What's your favorite genre?" And I always think I can't say. But then once I start listing my favorite books, the genre actually becomes clear, because they are all of Kathleen Woodiwis's books, or most of them: The Thornbirds, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Eyre, Shogun, Pillars of the Earth, Outlander, The Nightingale, A Knight in Shining Armor. And I mean, so Zemindar. Have you ever read Zemindar?
No, never even
Oh,
heard of it.
it's so good. It's the English occupation of India time frame, and oh, it's so good. Anyway, it's set in India, which I got to go visit and was very interesting. But so I guess I just love period pieces, even in movies. That must be what is closest to my heart.
Mm,
So my first historical was probably Jane Eyre, and that's what
yeah,
developed my
that
whole
was
love
a
of reading.
really early one of mine too. I can picture the book on the sad little girl on the cover. It was a big
Yeah,
hardcover.
I remember
But
feeling so bad for her as an orphan in the beginning. And yeah, so it really evoked a lot of emotion for me. So, number three, do you prefer new or old school historical romance?
well, I guess I prefer new because that's what I'm writing right now, but I have a lot of respect for old school, and I really fight against the everybody saying, "Oh, it's rape fantasy or whatever." I don't think people understand the cultural context at the time, which is coming out of, basically like the 1950s, and that women weren't allowed to be bad girls. And so these books were a way of being a bad girl, getting to experience sex and enjoyment and pleasure while not being actually, penalized in the way that people were. So
Yeah.
I think they're a wonderful vision of our history and of women providing some kind of pleasure for other women that they wouldn't have had otherwise, and training them to enjoy their own bodies.
Yeah, yeah, I love that too, and I feel the same way.
Great.
I agree with you. Have you ever written a setting? This is our last spill the tea. Oh no, actually, we got two. Have you ever written a setting you actually haven't visited?
So many. I've written so many. I mean, I've never, I will say that one person actually invited me to lunch with her husband at the House of Lords. That was very cool. But
Ooh,
things like that have happened after the fact. I have
yeah.
never been to Scotland. I based the abbey on I decided a haunted abbey in Wales because I've been to Wales. But
Oh,
yeah, there's
perfect.
many places in the world I want to travel to.
Yeah, me too. Well, when I first started writing, I wrote a historical romance. It was called Of Noble Birth, and part of it is set in Manchester. And I remember at the time, I mean, we didn't have an internet. Now it's so
Yeah.
easy to research anything. There's pictures, I mean, you can really get a good feel for it. I still feel like I write stronger when I've been there, just because you have more
Sure.
confidence
Sure.
somehow.
Yep.
But I had to wing it somewhat. I mean, I was reading research books, but I was raising these five little kids. My research time was limited, and I just remember holding my breath when that book came out that I had not somehow messed up that setting because I had never been there. It was all in my imagination. And I will never forget getting an email from somebody from Manchester who said, "You must have grown up here." I'm thinking,
Yeah.
whew,
Yes.
like, I dodged that bullet. I'm sure there were
Yep.
probably others that did catch me on stuff, but they didn't bother to write me, luckily. But I'll never forget how excited I was to get that one email and think, okay, I might have done good enough that I won't
Right.
get this problem, you know?
I didn't have that, but I can share that on my third book, I decided I wanted to have sort of an evil guy who is kidnapping a young prince. And so I was doing tons of research on the East India Company, which is it's India merchandising. And so I just looked in the back to find the name of it, someone who would sound good and evil. And my
Uh-huh.
book came out in hardcover, and I got this, and it was published in England. And I got this very stiff letter saying, that was our relative with the East India Company, and he would never, ever have kidnapped a young prince. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Someone must have read it and gave it to them. And, I had taken his whole name. So that was a mistake I'd never made again. I didn't
That's
think of those
hilarious.
people as having ancestors and who knew their past. I just never
Well,
occurred
and
to
that
me.
they would also read your book, and I mean that's kind of yeah, right. All right. This one I have to preface. When I met with Eloisa before, just to make sure we were doing tech check, I run these questions by her just to make sure nothing's going to offend her. And so I asked her this question, and she said, "Tell him what you said." I said, "What's the weirdest thing you've ever used as a bookmark?" I did not expect this.
I said, I don't put things in my book, but I assume I'm supposed to answer a condom, and the answer is no. I think that
Not
weird
what we
thing you put in a
expected.
book. Yes, you're reading a book at night and you stick a condom in to mark, but I would never do that because it would hold the pages open. Yeah.
I'm going to remember that one. Okay, now we get to chat a little bit more specifically about your latest release, The Last Lady Bee. This is a story about Genevieve, and she's a young woman who marries this, how do you say it? Centenarian? Did I say
Right. Yeah. Septuagint.
Centenarian? Anyway, he's in his 70s. We'll just go the easy way. He's in his 70s, and she marries him to provide a dowry for her younger sister. After her third season, marriage doesn't really work out and they need money. And so she does this for her younger sister, and hilarity and other things ensue as she goes off to this gothic type feeling abbey in the in Scotland. So Donna Sportelli wants to know, what was the inspiration behind this book, and why did you choose to use the first person voice?
That is a really good question. So I decided that, historical romance has not been thriving in the way it used to. And I think it's partly because a lot of readers are reading contemporary romance in the first person. There's that closeness that you have when you're reading the first person, right? You're
Yeah.
just part of the heroine almost. And I thought, I've just got to bring this together. But I also thought, I don't want to tell the same story, but in a first person. And where are you most close? It's when someone is not in peril, because my books are funny and I can't do that. But I wanted her to be thinking lots of funny thoughts. And I have to say, when we go there, my one of inspiration really was Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey. which is a
Uh-huh.
Gothic romance, very much focusing on the heroine who's read a ton of Gothic romances. So my heroine is the same. She's going up to Scotland. She's read a lot of Gothic romances. She knows that she's going to this abbey where supposedly her husband's three dead wives walk on the battlements. And she's thinking, I can't wait to meet them. This is going to be great. I'm going to converse with them and this and that and the other thing. But she's read all the books. So, when she meets the housekeeper, she's like, right, check. When she meets an evil guy with a scar in his forehead, he's like, there's the villain, check. Unfortunately, that's the hero. But she doesn't know that. Checking off all the parts of a Gothic novel. And I thought, because I write, I want to be funny. I work really hard on these books being funny. Um, to have her comparing and then like almost talking to us as the reader in asides, it gave me this wonderful meta quality that I enjoyed a lot. It was hard to write. It took me a
So
year to
was
write.
was
But
it the first time you've written in first person?
I wrote one short story in first person. It's an anthology called Ladies in Waiting, in which we were asked to write the story of one of the minor characters in Jane Austen. So mine is called Sense
Oh,
and Sensibility and Snapdragons, and I wrote that in first person. So that was my first foray into giving it a shot, and I loved it. So then I
yeah,
jumped into
it's I think it's wonderful. Like I've written 80 books in third person, and so I just never thought I would be able to retool or do first person. And for some reason, I got this idea. Ironically, it's gothic, a pretty heavy gothic tone, but it's a contemporary, slow burn psychological
Mhm.
suspense. But I really wanted to write in first person, and I thought I don't even know if I can adapt to this. But man, do I love it! It just pours
Yeah,
out. It's really puts you up close and personal in your character's head
yeah.
too. So it's an easier place to drive from, if you will.
Yeah, if we go back to that thing I said about authenticity and your love of your characters, I do feel that after the number of books we've written, it's probably easier for us to step into that. For I was afraid to do it, but then when I was there, I was like, well, I love this
Yeah.
character, and I'm happy to be her. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. I love it. Jody Tomatich wants to know what encouraged you to write in this period of history.
well, I've written Georgian, which is, high wigs and Marie Antoinette, and I've written Regency, which is the little bodices, and I enjoy them both a lot. So I kind of just switch on and off. But this, I wanted to do Gothic Regency because the Regency readers were obsessed by the genre. So Jane Austen is signed up for all these Gothic novels. We see her name on the subscription list. She's basically signing up for the Brenda Novick book club, and she's there. It says Jane Austen. So this one had to be Regency because of that.
Got you. Got you. And Jill Beck asks, how much research went into this book? There must have been some. You said you've never been to Scotland. So you had to
Right,
research
and I
that.
had to do a lot of research. So for those of you who may be thinking there's no wolves in Scotland, there was. So to say that, I had to do a lot of research into wills, into marriages, into all kinds of stuff. And it was part of what took me a year, but honestly, getting the voices right took me longer. But I have, for example, Colette, who is a gorgeous Black woman from Paris. I did a lot of research on the absolute free, have never been enslaved populations of noble women and very rich people in Paris. So that was a lot of fun then to create her and base her on real people. But that was all research that I did, that I had to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Christy H says, what was the most challenging part of writing this novel?
Well, I would go back to the first person. It was challenging.
Yeah.
It was totally fun. But you know what? After this period of time, my first book came out in 2000. If I don't continue to challenge myself and retool, as you said, I'm going to be calling it in, and then my career will be as dead as some of my dear friends who just decide to quit. So I am always trying to do new things, to do different things. Um, you know, just to give you guys an example, in the fall, there's a wonderful conference called Author Nation coming out. It's in Las Vegas in November, and you should come, Brenda. And I have joined into a anthology they're publishing for that conference, which is graphic novel. So they hired a young guy who does you know, um, cartoons, I guess you call them graphic novels. And he's turned one of my stories into a graphic novel. I'm working back and forth with him, saying things like her feet can't be that big. I mean, he's mostly done like Marvel Comics, so I'm like, her jaw, she's got the jaw of like a bodybuilder that can. But again, it's just so much fun, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And everyone who comes to the conference has a chance to buy this anthology, which has the first story is by Andy Weir, who
Yeah, The Martian, right?
The Martian, and now
Yeah.
Hailing. What is it called? Hailing Mary. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
Oh, Hail Mary. I didn't
Hail
realize.
Mary.
Yeah, Andy Weir did. Yeah, yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that movie. It was
Exciting.
very entertaining and emotional and endearing and uplifting, all those things. So yeah, I just saw that. Um, Sandra Garcia said, "I'm wondering where she heard the name Sophonisba. Did I say it right?
Oh, yes,
Sophonisba.
Sophonisba. Sophonisba is
Sophonisba.
a really interesting historical figure. So she lived around 200 BC, and she was a noblewoman, right? And she had influence over the political environment. And there's this king, Cephix. Anyway, she persuaded him to turn sides and go the other direction, the side she wanted him to go on. And then when it looked like she was going to lose to the Romans, she poisoned herself. She's always
Oh,
stuck with myself. She was like, I'm not going down under them. I'm not going to be captured by them. Screw it. I'm taking this, whatever she took. I don't know. But she's a bold woman. I don't think that my Sophonisba really lives up to that. But on the other hand, I'm going to say this without any spoilers. Sophonisba hasn't had the easiest life either. So,
right.
for those of you who
Okay.
get to the end of the book, she
Right.
doesn't poison
Absolutely.
herself and no one dies. But
No, this is a funny book. Jill Serignano wants to know, how did you come up with the idea of a haunted abbey? What made you decide to add that element, that supernatural element?
well, my husband and my daughter and I rented a car. And we started going through Wales, and if you've been in Wales, like every 10 miles, there's an abbey, there's a castle. In the beginning, we were going to all of them. We were just like, castle, castle, castle. And then we got a little burned out. And then we ended up with some abbey. And I was like, if any place in the world is haunted, it's this place. And I decided
Wow.
that's it. I got to write a haunted abbey. And I described it pretty well. So what you have in the book is an actual physical abbey, not in Scotland, but and
But
there is a
yeah.
bit of a ghost, so it is a little haunted. There you go.
Jeannie Chambers said, Eloisa, when you're developing characters, do you mentally or visually attach faces to them, either contemporary celebrities, people you know, or historical figures from the past? When I was reading The Last Lady Bee, I saw Genevieve as a young Emily Watson and Godric as a young Hugh Grant.
Ooh, I like Emily Watson. I wouldn't go for Hugh Grant, maybe because I can't think of him as young. I only think of him as older. I will tell you the one that I had in mind here with Philia was kind of a goth teenager, kind of a cross between the Munsters and Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
That's how,
I got that.
yeah,
Yeah, that came through. I loved it. But I think the hero would be great as the I don't know the guy's name. My kids would know him. I'm not that good with celebrities, but he was the male lead in Wuthering Heights. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it. No, my daughter
Oh,
saw it.
wow. Yeah. I really
Same.
like it. The way they filmed it is very artsy. And I mean, it is very angsty. I seem to be okay with that kind of movie. My husband would not be. He is the Hallmark show
Yeah.
watcher of our family.
Let's see. I'm
So
trying to figure out who he is, but I wasn't based on him because I haven't seen it yet. But
he's gorgeous. What's his name? Jacob Elordi.
sounds
Gorgeous.
good.
He's like, I don't know,
Oh,
6'6". He's got it. He's very tall, which makes it kind of hard. I did see in the movie why they try and keep the hero and heroine somewhat close to not such a big height difference, because I did see that through the choreograph of the love scenes and stuff, making it a little harder, but it was a very good show, I thought. Shelley Harbison said, I cannot believe how many times I laughed during this book, which is unusual for historical romance. Is it your intention to always include humor, or are you just naturally funny?
no, I work very hard at the humor. If there's anything that's funny, I will read the script over and over and try and figure out how they constructed that conversation. How did they land the joke? You know, everything like books, TV scripts, movies, anything is funny. I read, the paper like the New York Times, and I'm looking to see when they say laugh aloud. Then I'll download it right away. Okay, someone
Uh,
thought this was laugh aloud. Why did they think it was? Where is it funny? I love humor. I just think you have to work at it. It's laborious
Yeah.
though.
I love humor too. Like I remember having breakfast with Janet Ivanovich, and I really thought, I mean, her books are hilarious and I love them. And when I met her, I thought she would be just like Stephanie Plum. She's actually not. I mean, she's very
No.
much like you and me.
Yep.
And so I was surprised by that because I thought, you know, this is just some, I don't know, supernatural type gift that she has. But yeah, no, she was very much like us. Sharon Collins wants to know what is the weirdest true historical habit you've discovered in your research?
Well, I always go back to Shakespeare. Okay. So, Shakespeare at the time, Shakespeare was actually a very conservative writer. I mean, we think he represents the Renaissance, but he doesn't. There were so many other people writing best selling plays at the time who sort of presented a much weirder London than he did. And one of my favorite ones is a play which seems to reflect a real life London in which the hero is knitting all the way through. He loves to knit. And we just don't think, I think of like, Othello and Macbeth and Hamlet with his David. We don't think of, but there were all kinds of men with all kinds of weird, wonderful habits in England, in Renaissance England at the time. Shakespeare was writing genre fiction, but there were a lot of really interesting and weird habits out there.
That is interesting. Wow. Eileen Byron said, if you could be a character in any real or fictional Regency era family, which family would you choose and why?
Well, I when you read this to me, I thought, well, I want to be in the Wild family, which is something I wrote, right? Born to be wild and too wild to wed, and it's this really loving family that live in this big tumble down sort of castle on the edge of a bog, and I love them. But then it did occur to me, maybe I want to be in the Bridgertons because those clothes, I, I thought
Right?
this season, the clothes in this season were beyond. I mean, I thought they were already fabulous, and these are next level. So I'm divided. I
Right.
want to be the Wilds with the costume designer for the Bridgertons.
Wow. We're having Julia Quinn featured in November, and the book that readers can get in the November book box is actually a special edition copy of the first Bridgerton novel. What a great collectible, right? Like, I think that's going to be so fun for everybody to be able to get that. So, yeah, very
And
cool. I
let
think
me
that,
just say on Julie's part, she has this book subscription too, which is not like yours. It's just three sort of important, she thinks, historicals. But Lady B is in there with a beautiful hardcover. So if anyone falls in love with the book and wants to get a copy, her Kickstarter is still accepting subscriptions for those three books. It's Lord of Scoundrels and this one and one other one.
awesome. So we only have a couple left because we're running out of time. So we're going to skip our little game, but we will do Dawn Dalrymple's question. She said, do you think historical romance will ever get a big following again like it had in the 80s and 90s? She says, I'm personally a fan and will always be.
Yeah, so am I. Hi, Dawn. I hope so, but I really have no idea. I consider myself so lucky to still be supported by my publisher. I will say that this book hit USA Today bestseller list, so there's still readers out there.
Congrats.
Um, Brenda's book club definitely played a part in that because her 850 books came in on my pub day. And so I really credit you with part of that bestseller
Good. I'm
list.
glad we could help. It's these readers that have been so supportive and buy our boxes. It really enables us to help out the authors that we feature, and I'm so grateful to them. So I'm glad it helped, and congratulations on that. That's a big win. I mean, I think that genre seems to go in trends. Like I remember when I first or some of the trends I've seen for a while there, you couldn't sell anything that wasn't a paranormal. Like it had
Mhm.
to be paranormal. It was all paranormal or nothing. And
Yep,
then Shades of Grey came out and it was all erotica or nothing. And then
right.
there was the pendulum swung back the other way and it was only Christian fiction. Everybody wanted Christian fiction,
Small
sweet
town.
romance, super
Yeah.
clean, Hallmark movie type stuff. And so it's weird how and then people get satiated and kind of tired of it.
Mhm,
And remember when everybody was trying to write Janet Ivanovich, like
mhm.
somebody will hit it big and then everybody you get all the
Yeah,
kind of copycats who can't do it quite as well. And so I think readers read that at first because they're still wanting to scratch that itch, but it doesn't actually ever match that first landmark breakthrough. And so then they
right.
kind of get, I'm done with this, and then they move on. So I mean, I would bet that historical romance will once
Hope
again
so.
have another big heyday. I can't imagine it won't because things just sort of move around.
Move. I hope they
Like right now,
move.
it's
I
all
hope I'm
about,
still writing when they move because they've taken their time, let me say that. But
yeah,
here
wouldn't
I
that
am,
be
I'm still
nice?
writing, so that's a gift.
Well, I have an editor friend who recently quit her job just because they would not let her buy anything that wasn't dark
I
romance
know.
or futuristic. And she was like, I just am not into romanticy. I'm not into dark romance. And so she was having a hard time finding something good in those genres. And so, thank God they don't stay forever because that's not my genre either. And that's not what I like to read. I'm actually not a paranormal at all kind of person. I can take very light elements like what you had in your book with the ghost, but like ones that go with fairies and all this other stuff, it's just not me. I don't know why. It's just not my favorite. So I'm glad that things do move around.
Yeah.
Okay, and one last question before we go will be Brenda Early says, are your characters based on people in your life? If so, do they recognize themselves?
They are not. They are not because my very first hero was named Alexander and my husband is Alessandro. And my first hero
Yes.
annulled his marriage on the grounds of impotence. And my husband was like, "You can't do this. Everyone's going to read it and think it's me." And I was like, "Nothing to do with you." And he wasn't really impotent, obviously, but he was like, "Oh, they might not get past that." And since then, I was like, you know what? People don't like seeing themselves in books. Witness the people from the East India Company with their virtuous ancestor. So I try
Yes,
to stay
yes.
away from people I know. I do,
That's
though,
hilarious.
take an enormous amount of inspiration from books. So I'll pick up a
Yeah.
character from an old TV show. There's a wonderful British show called Keeping Up Appearances
Uh-huh.
about someone who's a real social climber. And I've taken little bits of her and put her in several books. So it's totally
Oh,
fun.
but good, good. Well, it was such a nice chat. Thank you so much for joining us, for signing all those books, for coming to
Thank
our
you.
rescue when we had one go awry or, take off the other direction. We got to still track that down. But thank you. We really appreciate your time and we really enjoyed your book.
Thank you so much, Brenda. It's just such a pleasure to be here. And again, I just put that USA Today bestseller list. That's partly on you guys. So thank you so much to both of
Uh,
you.
well, thank you. All right. Well, we'll see you again, I hope soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye. And now, before we go, we have another giveaway. Janet Roble has been at it again. She has purchased a June box for us to give away this evening. Bless her heart. She's always so good to try and help out with those things. So we are going to pick, I'm trying to figure out where I wrote that down. I know I have it somewhere. Oh, yeah, the winner is Lex. Can you randomly pick someone? We'll do a live picker. Lexi's just going to scroll through and pick one, or I guess you can have you do it. Oh, okay. All right. For me, Kate Halmy. Congratulations, Kate. You've won a June Brenda Novak book box courtesy of our lovely member, Janet Robles. So thank you for that, Janet. Before that reminds me, what I need to do next is give the top 10 before we leave too. The top 10, we don't choose them. Facebook does. These are the people who like and comment on our posts in book group and on my main page the most. And they are entered every time they win. They get their name in the hat to win a year's worth of Brenda Novak book boxes, a whole year's subscription. We pick 4 names, and so they each get a quarter: 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, and 3 months. And so this month, congratulations goes to Janet Roble, Star Roybal, Nicole Duvall, Nancy Brady, Jo Marie Maderer, Juanita Ramirez, Christina Modges, Virgie Lane, Marie Christensen, and Jen Miller. So that one is, we will be putting your name in the hat for that. Remember to read and record The Last Lady Bee by June 15th on my website to be entered to win our $100 gift card to the Brenda Novak store, which is where we sell all of our fun merch. So that's always fun to get. You don't have to read along with us monthly to earn your pin. You can do that at any time. We even have past pins from past years that you can catch up. And Alexa designs a different one. I mean, they match in overall, but different colors and stuff for each year. So it's really fun to have those on your reading tote or something like that that you can collect. So you can get those at any time. You can catch up even if you get behind. And you can also catch up to be entered to win our grand prize, which is a dedication in a future Brenda Novak novel, except you do have to have them done by January 15th. So you can get behind a months in between, but then make it up by the end of the year to be entered to win a dedication in one of my future books, which is our grand prize. So the expiration for that will be January 15th, 2027. And don't forget that our June read is The Shipper by the one and only Catherine Center. Her career is blowing up huge, and we have autographed hard copies of this book going in our June boxes, which are getting mailed out right now. We actually have some more of these, but we're getting down. So if you want one, make sure you grab it. It's one of our best values ever. We have some great skincare products going in here that I use and absolutely love. The face cream is $30, and the peptide serum is $30, just those two. And I mean, that's the whole cost of your box. That doesn't include the $30 hardcover and the cute, or they're not cute, but they're really great things to utilize. These plastic cubes that I put in my suitcase to protect, like you can put your makeup in there, and if they spill or you have any hair products or whatever, then it doesn't get in all your clothes and mess things up. So they're super, super handy to have around. So you're going to want those. And you also get a delicious orange creamsicle lollipop from Candy Making Company. So there's no surprise item in this one because we spent so much in all the contents we could not afford it. But it's a great box, a good value, and you're not going to want to miss that face cream. It's really great. Our book group meetings are always the last Thursday of the month. So we will meet again on June 25th. And it's always at the same time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And November and December are the only months we don't meet on the last Thursday because of the holidays. So make sure you check your book tracker or the schedule on my website for those dates as we get closer. And we don't have a Brenda Novak after party tonight for our subscribers, but we're planning to have one next month. And it's going to be my husband's retribution for what I did to him on our last after party. We did that taste test with a twist that got a little crazy. And so I told him I would give him the opportunity to get revenge on me. I'm not looking forward to that, but it's bound to make us laugh. So hopefully you will join me for that. Make sure you're a subscriber so that we can send you an invitation. If you don't get it in your email, check your spam. If it's not there either by the Monday before the meeting, then make sure you email us to get access because sometimes you wait till the very last minute and we have such a small staff that then we can't get it to you. So anyway, thank you to everybody for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed this month's read. I can't wait to dive into The Shipper and to talk with Kathy